Also, odontoidectomy or menstrual or anterior ciliary decompression. Provides us with an excellent approach to the compression of the ciliary junction, the ventral. We all know the normal anatomy of that region, and for the line, the chamberlain lines, this is for our younger colleagues to be maybe in this group. And you know, or whether we talk about an impression, or whether it's the vascular imagination at all. That's the bony anatomy. And what are the the indications for transoral compression? Gentleman code absolutely says B1. But we will see about it later. The panels, especially in rheumatoid arthritis, infections like TB in our setup, that's common. Displaced fractures of the odontoid process and foreign bodies. As we go on, I'll have a question for Karas, Dr. Karas. That's okay? Yeah. In this photo, we've got a very long odontoid process. In fact, it's about 24 millimeters. And the pathology here is usually the compression of the lower brainstem, with or without vascular invagination, and that may cause complications like syringomyelia lower down. Now, this slide is derived from Matul, where group 1 is the invagination without the carry malformation as opposed to group 2. Now, I got this from Goel's grading system of the various grading systems for vascular invagination, whether you are independent, doing minimal work, or whether you are unable to walk and dependent for activities in his grade 5. Now, the techniques here, we could go transoral through the mouth, through the nose, endoscopic, transmandibular, depending on, in most cases, the surgeon's preference. In my practice, we do nasopharyngeal intubation, put a small sandbag behind the shoulders so that you have some extension where the neck is slightly extended, and you use a Dingman retractor. You use a Forest catheter and tie the uvula, and you put it backwards through the nose so that you have more opening. And again, we initially use finger localization of the C1 tubercle, and use either a spinal needle or a pointer and imaging intensify. So this is an example of the patient in surgery, and you can see, don't have a pointer, but you can see lower down the tip of the catheter as you pull it out through the nose. You use a pointer. You can either use the SACA to get your radiological mappings, and of course the CM, and that's our theater setup where we operate from. After you're done, then I may turn at the same time and do a posterior cranioesophageal fusion to stabilize that region. You can use a drill, but again, this has to be the use of this for inexperience has made it complications. But what we do is that you use rongeurs after you've confirmed to pick up the final the portion, the tip. At the end of it, you can see you've got a good odontoid decompression and posterior fusion. Now, but what can go wrong? Before, at some time, we used to use K-wires to do the posterior fusion. And this is because of lack of equipment. And with K-wires not, so there will be infection, there will be displacement, and I can't point, but you can see from the MRI on the other side that we've all got it all wrong, you know. The C2 is back into the canal. This patient also had infections. The points of the K-wires came out through the skin, and we had actually to remove it at some stage with those kind of, we are lucky that he's still walking, but we had to remove most of those implants. The other indication is where you have completely depressed. This gentleman came to us, he had fallen in a water well 25 years ago, and he came with breathing problems and wasting, and you could see the non-united and displaced odontoid, and of course the severe stenosis at the CVJ junction. You can't do anything. Again, this one we had to do a transoral. That's another good indication for transoral decompression and posterior fusion. We moved from about 8 hours. Initially, we used to do the transoral approach and then wait for another 1 week and go posteriorly. But again, we got more courage and we would do it on the same sitting. Initially 8 hours, but now we are comfortable with between 4 to 6 hours on this. This, my colleague, Olunya, you know David, and we went to Mount Kenya to raise some equipment, but as we aim higher, that's me on Mount Kilimanjaro, and now this is for Karas. What would you do?
Nothing.
Yeah. Any Karas would do nothing. Anything? Anybody else with a different opinion? It's an exercise. This gentleman walked to my office, to my A&E, and told me, I've just been shot. So I saw he had an entry wound on the face, but no exit wound. So we took an X-ray, and saw this one. And but the only thing is that he was bleeding, of course, from the nose. And the question was what to do. Neurologically, okay, but let me show you what we did. I hope it will pray. Can I pray from here? This is a video. Can you pray? This one.
You want to actually, you can't expand it. It's just going to be that.
Oh, it's fine.
It's supposed to be a video.
Yes.
It's a PDF. It's not.
Oh, it's PDF.
Yeah, it's not gonna play.
The video for this one is very exciting because we actually pulled it out through Transoro. I was hoping I would have shown it. And then we put an odontoid screw to stabilize that fracture and left the patient. So, taking notes of new insights, this is a tool who says for bacillar invagination, you just fuse C1, C2. And you know his famous saying that only C1, 2 fusion. He says that C1, Transoro should remain in history. But I think it is historical, yes. But for purposes of what I've shown, we must teach our younger colleagues, and even ourselves, we must be able to learn. I think, thank you. This is, we had a visit. So I think you know this guy. That's my hospital. It was a 12-bed hospital, but we have since we're moving to this 40-bed unit from the 12-bed. Thank you. Questions, please.
Any questions?
Was that video that you were trying to play successful?
Hold on a second.
Pardon? Yes, can I actually watch it from my...
Hold on one second. Go ahead.
Was the case of the video that you were trying to play, how successful was it in terms of recovery
Very,
and all?
very, very. The gentleman is Oroka. He's from this town. He always have even Amarabi.
Thank you. Any other questions? Any other questions? Thank you.